Greetings, this is Chester with the Sampleist, and our sonic journey today is Aska Matsumiya's Crystal Bowls by Spitfire Audio. Before we dive in, I'd like to make it crystal clear that the copy of this library we're reviewing was graciously provided to us by the developer. However, let me assure you that our commitment to delivering honest and transparent reviews remains unwavering. Our goal is to arm you with all the information you need to decide if this library deserves a spot in your musical toolkit. For those of you who seek the serene and sublime in their music, this sampled instrument offers a journey into the ethereal. Crafted in collaboration with the talented Aska Matsumiya, Crystal Bowls is a testament to the power of simplicity and the beauty of sound. This instrument is an invitation to explore the nuanced world of crystal bowl sounds, meticulously captured and crafted to bring a unique texture to your compositions. Diving into the interface, Spitfire Audio prioritizes ease of use without sacrificing depth. Crystal Bowls uses Native Instruments' Kontakt Player. Kontakt UI is very straightforward, ensuring that whether you're a seasoned composer or just starting out, you'll find navigating through the options as intuitive as it gets, with options like attack, release, offset, and reverb. Customizing the sounds to fit your track is just a few adjustments away. From the delicate touch of brushes to the distinct timbre of rubber or hot rods, each choice brings its own unique character to the long or short presets of the instrument. Imagine the possibilities as you mix and match these options, or even blend them together to forge a sound that's unmistakably yours. This is where the instrument shines, offering a multitude of articulation options right from the UI, letting you sculpt the sound without having to menu dive and take you out of your creative zone. Crystal Bowls is 2.21 gigs of hard drive space, and the instrument costs $99. Let's now explore the presets this library has to offer. Welcome to Crystal Bowls, and from the first chord that we lay down to the first look at this UI, pretty kismet. So look how simple this UI is. This is amazing, and there's no menu diving here. Kind of what you're clicking on is what you get, and until you get down here, there are small menu options, but it's great because it will limit you above. So I'd almost suggest maybe starting down here if you're looking to pick what you're going to blend. And we'll dive into some of this in more detail here in a moment. But if you're starting to kind of blend something here and then you move over, got to start over again. This is super awesome and very interesting. It's something that I don't see very often from Spitfire and the Kontakt Player. So more of this, please. This is such a great treat to not only hear how this instrument just sounds incredible, but looks incredible as well. Fantastic. We'll go top to bottom here. I know I did mention that I would typically dial in my presets bottom to top, but just kind of makes sense to explore these concepts a little bit that way, left to right, top to down. Attack, release. So we have two options here for our ADSR or our envelope. And then you get a nice little fader here. So this fader is going to go left to right. I don't see any visual indication other than the three dots. And that just means I got to use my ears, right? So no milliseconds here. It is all just, how does it sound? Same with release. Gonna have to keep releasing the notes to know. That's roughly what I want. I can click anywhere and it kind of turns on. I don't have to just click up on that button. I think that's just a visual indicator as to what the mouse is on. Oh, that release is long. Turn that down a little bit. Unless it's infinity. That was long. That was cool. Here we got our sample offset. The icons that they're using are awesome. And then we have reverb here. And that is very simple. Just dial in from a time-based perspective and an envelope-based perspective here. You're going to look at your attack and the start of your sample. You're going to look at the release and the reverb of the tail. And that's pretty much it. Now down here is where you can start getting, you know, your palette going for any of the options you selected. So if you need a long crystal bowl, you're starting with that. And you want to decide, do I want brushes? Which that's definitely what we're hearing here. The brushes going over the bowl. We can turn that down or off. And we can hear what rubber sounds like. And we can also check out plastic. And if we want some of that brush to come back, maybe we say we like this plastic and then we want that sound of the brushes. Start dialing those in. At that point, I'm going to say, let's put some reverb on it. I'm going to say my attack too quick. Let's dial that back a little bit. And I've made my patch, my very first patch with the instrument. That is fantastic. Let's dive into all the options we get. So as we mentioned with the microphone options, I call them microphone options. They are the mallets that you'll be getting to use. Brushes, soft, sticks, rubber, plastic, and hot rods. And they do gray out if they are not an option for any of the articulation or the presets down here that you're selecting. So if I start with shorts, I do get all of them. So I can now mix any of these together. I can also decide if I want normal or damped. We have longs. We were just looking at that, and so but we can look at swells. We also have rolls. Here's forks. It's got a vibey feel to it even just by playing it. Which is why I'm excited to click this next. Now let's add a tremolo to that. You know what we have to do, right? We got to go to outer space. We got to turn that reverb up. I feel like I'm scoring retro sci-fi right now, and I'm here for it. That's awesome. warps, which is going to be a really fun adventure to dive into. We have 6 warps, and down here we get 2 options here that give us 3 each. So we still keep a minimal appeal even with that, and that's the farthest we dive. That's pretty awesome. And notice with the warps that I'm not seeing any of the options up here for those mallets. So the warps are going to be recorded already, and we'll just be choosing them. And that's no surprise. That's typically how warps work with the other instruments. So that's great. We are definitely clipping on this one. Sounds like we're running through tape here. Make a space. Icicles. Where these warps are taking us, I'm very excited to go. And I'm going very willingly. This is really awesome options. CD skip. Not sync into my tempo of my DAW, so those might just be, that movement might just be what you're getting. Something worth noting. Here's Snowfall. Yeah, so if I ever need any of this to stick to the tempo, I think the DAW will have to take care of that for me. Just freeze to audio and then manipulate that way. Any of these warps would be great layers for presets and sounds and kind of diving in and adding that texture to something. This is great. Awesome. Now that we've checked out the instrument and everything that it offers within the UI, let's check it out within a musical piece. That was the piece. It's called Clarity. Its BPM is 90. I believe it's in C minor. And we start with crystal bowls. That was the first instrument that I used to kind of flesh the piece out and see how, I wanted to write it and where we wanted to take it. And as I started writing it out, I kind of ventured towards some sort of drama cue, and then pulled from other Spitfire libraries and kind of created this piece. It begins with this idea of the short articulation where I wanted to hear the velocity sensitivity of the instrument, just kind of trying it out. We didn't run through that too much in the preset walkthrough. So I wanted to take this opportunity when I wrote this piece to kind of run through some things that we may not have explored already. And so that short kind of sounds like this. When I dive in the MIDI, we're really quiet, and then we get louder on the last three hits on each time it kind of comes through. When I open up the instrument, we played with release a little bit. I dialed it down. It's a short articulation, so I really wanted to dial that down a bit. I don't think we changed attack. We didn't change the offset, and then I gave it some reverb. I learned that as I move these, there's right at middle, a dot appears, and that was really helpful for me to land at least kind of some of these locations here. So the sticks and the brushes are working together here. Not going too hot on any of these, just these two are playing. I like the brushes for the texture, and I like the sticks because it really cuts through when you hear those sticks play. And I felt that could carry, the part all the way through. So it starts and ends with the idea. It's the first and last thing you hear, something that you can kind of cycle through. Next up, we have the warps, and they first start as kind of a texture, and then they end kind of playing the main chord progression. They sound like this. And for that texture, we're using wind bells. And I don't think I changed too much actually with it. I think I liked how it sounded, and just kept it kind of as is. These warps, they sound fantastic. And by the way, I did learn a little more about the warps. They're kind of ran through guitar pedals and granular synthesizers, and they sound a lot of fun. I bet it was a blast to work with these source samples of the crystals, the bowls, and then run them through all these various effects. Just seemed like a lot of fun. And then I intertwined that with this long patch here that we have. I really wanted to use the tremolo with the forks. Had a lot of fun with the preset walkthrough of that. I might have dialed in a little bit here, but I don't believe too much. And then again, I didn't have access to any of the beaters, is what I'm seeing. So maybe they're mallets or beaters. Probably beaters is the more appropriate term for that. But either way, that's something I wasn't able to access here. With the forks, you just get the forks and the tremolo, and then that's just playing that main chord progression. And that chord progression, it carried the piece. I used it in something last week, and I liked it a lot. Felt that was a good way to start, and everything just started sounding good with it. So we're moving it around, we're giving it to various instruments, and then we have kind of this instrument being the main. What you'll hear at times is that it can kind of almost develop a melody even just by holding these chords. There's some layers in here and some performances that are playing out and really taking over and cutting through the mix in such a right way that's very welcoming, and it was so easy to work with. So it was fantastic. In fact, this whole piece wrote it so quickly that I didn't even apply much processing to any of the instruments. So as you'll hear, Crystal Bowls plays really well with other instruments just off the gate too. So not only is it simple and easy to use, and you can kind of set up your own patches or presets in minutes, but throw it in a mix and watch it just sing. It's really awesome and very simple to work with. Let's see if there's any other thing that I'm missing from. Oh, I did want to mention as well the reverb. I uncovered that it is an impulse response, and it's only one. It's from the room. These crystal bowls were recorded at London's Hackney Round Chapel. So that reverb is impulse response that was captured at the Round Chapel, which that's what we're seeing there. So we get to use the reverb of the room that this was recorded in. And we used it a bit. It sounds really good. Definitely suggest giving it a whirl if you can. All right, so the rest of the piece, we're using, sprinkling in some contemporary drama toolkit. I got that's from Spitfire Audio. We got a synth bass doing a pulse. So we just dialed in a saw bass 3 pulses, it looks like. So, and then that's just taking the bass line. Another drama toolkit, the pads. This was the second instrument I added. And when I heard it work so well with the bowls, I kept it in and I said, what else can we throw at this to see how, it blends so well? Is this too good to be true? And it sounded amazing. Then we did this. I added synth bass and then I kept going. I don't remember when I added the keys, but the felt grand from Olafur Arnold's definitely a staple in a lot of pieces. So just kind of put that in there and it stayed. We have London Contemporary Orchestra. Textures is playing almost like a secondary melody to the crystal bowls when they take over here. It almost sounds like singing actually, and it's not. It's the London Contemporary Orchestra. Chamber waves. I don't use chamber evolutions enough, to be honest, so I felt like just throwing it in. That was kind of a last minute add, but it worked out and sounds really great. And I can see why it's so popular. Definitely needing to find myself using it more. And then at the end here, I just wanted to throw some drums, kind of make this part here more cinematic in more motion and movement, and no better way to do that than drums. I originally tried percussion swarm a bit, but was struggling to get that going. So I moved to hammers, which is a recent pickup of mine, and it's so easy to use. Was able to just kind of get something made here and have it work with the song pretty quickly. So that ended up staying and sticking around. Awesome. Well, that's Clarity. That's the piece. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks. It's time to wrap up our journey with some final reflections. Crystal Bowls offers composers and producers a new palette of tones and textures to explore. With its extremely minimal and simple interface, it ensures that the focus remains on creativity and exploration. The range of articulations, combined with the diverse options of mallets, opens up a world of possibilities for creating dynamic and emotionally resonant compositions. Whether you're scoring for film, crafting ambient soundscapes, or simply looking to add a unique touch to your music, this library offers something truly special. What excites me most about Crystal Bowls is its potential to inspire. In a world cluttered with complex and often overwhelming tools, menus, and options, the simplicity and purity stands out, inviting us to listen more deeply and compose with intention. This is Chester, signing off from the Sampleist, and I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you're hungry for more insightful reviews, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to stay tuned with all things the Sampleist. Until our paths cross again, keep having fun making your music. Cheers.